CubeVR has been in development for 7 years by one man. It's a procedurally generated Minecraft style sandbox game, meaning it's your playground to do pretty much whatever you want. And to be completely clear, this isn't my type of game, or at least that's what I thought when I first fired it up. You see, games that are without a narrative, or at least a beginning or an end, don't really appeal to me. I don't really like the idea of making my own game inside games, and since there is no survival element, there's no weapons, there's no multiplayer or enemies, well, that is all of right now, more on that to come later. But what I'm trying to say is, regardless of the tools developers give me, I lack the desire to make my own fun, which is why games like Blade and Sorcery and games with mods like Boneworks aren't really featured on the channel. However, with all that being said, CubeVR is definitely the exception to my normal attitude towards this genre of game. It struck a chord with me I didn't expect, and even after all my years in VR, exploring this world hit me with a sense of wonder and curiosity I haven't experienced in quite some time. Now, you need to bear with me while I try and explain why this is as best I can, because as I said, this isn't normally my type of game. Now, to call this a Minecraft style game doesn't really do it justice. I would much rather play this over Minecraft, and before anyone says it, yes, I have played Minecraft in VR, and while it's nice to play, I found myself not wanting to play it at my own time, aside from the Batman DLC pack they released a little while ago, which I really enjoyed on PSVR. Anyway, CubeVR is all about discovery and imagination, and it's got options that cater to each player. I like that if I create an axe, it doesn't break after a set amount of use. I like that I can turn on infinite health, so if I fall it doesn't matter, and that led me to climbing the highest point within this huge new world, which took absolutely ages. I had to mine my way through some parts, build bridges to get from one island to another, but getting to the top was an awesome experience because the graphics in CubeVR are truly stunning. I could have started this video actually talking about how wonderful this looks, because in no way can I capture how good this looks inside the headset. And on PSVR2 in particular, in comparison to PC, the output is abysmal. You see, CubeVR relies heavily on eye-tracked foveated rendering, because without it, a PS5 has only roughly the performance of an RTX 2070 on a PC. And when I did play it on PC, that would explain why it's so demanding. But with foveated rendering, PS5 becomes more like having access to an RTX 3090. This is the graphical comparison the developer has told me, and without the use of foveated rendering, the game would have looked so much worse on PSVR2 that he might not have released it at all. Interestingly, he also said the implementation of the eye-tracked foveated rendering on PSVR2 was actually really easy, thanks to the help of Sony. And this made me a little mad, and question why we've had to put up with so many crap ports in the past. But here we are, and we've seen developers are slowly beginning to realise this and are updating titles as we speak, such as Hellsweeper. So moving on, I can confirm what he is saying. Upon entering CubeVR, I was absolutely stunned by what I saw. The sun rays in between your fingers, the aurora borealis you see at night is nothing short of beautiful. So again, I promise the images on this screen do this game no justice at all. So if you do pick this up, remember to let others know that what I'm saying is true down in the comments. Because out of all the games that you would feature normally in VR, the voxel art style looks so simplistic on a flat screen, I'm really worried that people will simply think this game doesn't look good at all. The deep blacks and the stunning colours of the headset really shine in this game. And after my excursion to the top of the mountain, as I mentioned earlier, I then decided I wanted to build a house, and that meant mining for materials. I found a nice spot near a cave, but as I went into the cave, I soon discovered an almost entirely new world that was underneath me, full of beautiful colours and new materials. There was a point where honestly I just stood there and it all felt a bit overwhelming. Anyway, so I didn't get lost. I used torches to highlight my way into the cave, but unfortunately I still got lost anyway because I slipped and fell down a huge chasm. But I was again rewarded by more beautiful caves and material. Point is, the more I explored, the more I enjoyed exploring. And what I really like about CubeVR is the lack of resource management. Aside from gathering materials, which leads to more discovery and more building, I simply enjoyed mining and listening to Spotify. It's been years since I played on PC, and since then he's added lots of features to the game. There is now an interactive tutorial which acts as an introduction to the crafting and sets you up nicely for those of you who are like me, who would normally just stand there and wondering, what is the point of this? But again, this is completely optional. You can simply do whatever you want to do or not want to do and figure it out on your own. I personally liked the more guided approach, and the lack of frustration was definitely the biggest win. There's also official PS5 mod support, allowing users to directly download and install community-based creative blocks, which from what I understand is a pretty rare thing, especially for a game that gets ported from PlayStation to PC. In terms of what the future holds for the game, there's going to be enemies to fight with sword fighting mechanics, and also cross-platform multiplayer. And before I let you go, there is also one little thing I really liked, and that is the real-time log cutting, which shows literally the attention to detail this developer is going for. Overall, I highly suggest you check it out. It's a great addition to the PSVR2 catalogue, but be prepared to lose yourself for hours and hours. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.